Do you ever find yourself wasting away time because you can't seem to remember what to do in order to achieve your goals? Then you surely must have tried the gazillion task management apps out there, and like me, you found out that they all actually kinda suck. They're either perfect, but they hide the best features behind a paywall, or they lack some essential features entirely. In this video, I'm gonna show you how I made my own system after wasting several hundred hours with all sorts of productivity apps and hacks and watching a lot of YouTube videos. Best of all, the system is completely free to use. But before we get into my own method, let me rant about the industry. And yes, I look sweaty because it's summer and it's 30 degrees outside. My AC is not working. Notion in particular became the go-to recommended productivity and management tool by literally everyone. While it looks good on the surface, when you actually start using it, you realize even the simplest actions require you to look up a tutorial or get help online. And so you go down the rabbit hole of masterclasses, hour-long videos, paid tutorials, and so on and so forth. And all the while you're left with this lingering feeling that if you learn this tool, all of your problems will go away and you will be focused. Cue the ocean of people who make a living selling Notion templates, LifeOS, the ultimate life productivity template, the best habit tracker ever, and all of that is behind a paywall. And again, there's that feeling that if you spend these $150 getting these templates, your life issues will solve themselves. And that's fine and all if it works for you, but this entire industry thrives off of people who keep seeking the perfect system that's gonna fix their lives. The problem is, as long as you're focused learning systems and apps, you are not learning about how you function. And that's exactly where you should start. Learn about yourself and how you react to different situations and working conditions, so you can organize it properly. If you skip this very important step, it's gonna feel like you're trying to organize chaos in complete darkness. But if a tool is so complicated to learn that you have to pay someone else for them to have it work for you, then it probably wasn't a good tool to begin with. Alright, rant aside, this is how I manage my projects on a daily and long-term basis. I basically use the free version of Todoist and a bullet journal to go along with it. This app is great. It has lots of shortcuts that make it easy and fast to use. You can make lists, it has a weekly view of your tasks, and if you need it, it even has the integration with Google Calendar as well as email reminders. And all of this for free. The bullet journal serves a similar purpose, but with the advantage and limitations of pen and paper. First off, writing by hand has been somewhat proven to provide deeper cognitive processing, better emotional expression, and less distractions. The limitation is that you only have a page in terms of space, and you cannot undo things or delete your past mistakes. Being limited gives you the opportunity to be more focused on what really needs to happen, and it forces you not to be a perfectionist, because done is better than perfect. I started my journey with journals about 3 years ago, and I basically trialed the bullet journal method by Ryder Carroll, and I slowly and over time modified it to fit my needs. That's the best thing about physical journals. You can just modify it as soon as you want. All you need is a pen, paper, and some imagination. Also, this has been a long trial for me, and it took me about 3 journals worth of trial and error to get to the point where I am today, which I consider to be my perfect spot, but even still I keep modifying small things here and there. You can start your own bullet journal right now. Just use some scrap pieces of paper that you have and do some trial and error before you commit to buying an expensive journal. I personally really like Rhodia notebooks and their bullet journals. I like all of their colors. The cover is thin and feels great to the touch. It is in fact made out of apple leather. The pages are 90-gram Clairefontaine paper, which is very smooth and to my liking. And it has this little elastic to keep it closed, and a small folder to keep letters and loose pages. And lastly, it only has one ribbon-style bookmark. Rhodia does make planner-type journals, but I found their layout to be kind of more restrictive and very far from what I need. I also like using fountain pens, and my favorites are this Muji pen for $20 and this Platinum Preppy for just $6. These are very cheap pens, but they go a long way and it is really worth it. And I love writing by hand, but since I'm not going to school anymore and I'm not doing any writing aside from journaling, this is basically the only time that I get to write by hand, and it sometimes is the highlight of my day. I start my bullet journals with an index. It's just nice to have, especially when you want to look back and see how far you've come on your journaling journey. Damn, that's a mouthful. On the same page as the index, I will go ahead and write my life goals and my New Year's resolutions. Having that really limited amount of space in that half page makes you focus on the things that you really want to get out of life and the things that are more attainable. This way, not only does it seem more doable, but it also makes the intention much clearer. Now, after the index, some people like to put their yearly view with all the months on 2 pages. I tried that and I didn't really use it that much, so I just go straight up to the month view. Instead, I start the month by making a money management page, which includes things like revenue, expenses, and taxes. Also, I know there are plenty of apps that let you do that by simply connecting your bank account to the app and whatnot, but to be honest, I don't want yet another app to just track my data and sell it. I then take 2 pages. On the left I have the quests, and on the right I have the monthly view with all the days. What I do is I basically set myself a bunch of tasks in the quests area, and after I list all of them, I just try to move them from left to right to my monthly view so I can program work for each day of the month. And then once the day comes, I will move it from the monthly view to my daily view. Now, the most important thing to do when you're starting a bullet journal is to make a habit of using it. When I get up in the morning, I will usually hydrate, and in the meantime, I will write my intentions for the day in my journal. I will try to come up with some thoughts, things that I am grateful for. I've engraved this habit in myself so much that I cannot go more than a day without journaling my things. The symbols that I use for journaling now are basically the same symbols used by Ryder Carroll. So if you want to see how I do it, just look up bullet journal on YouTube and watch a few tutorials on how he does it. Or alternatively, you can read his book called The Bullet Journal Method, obviously. It's a quick and very comprehensive read. Once I'm done with pen and paper, I will go ahead and open the Todoist app on my browser, and I will basically go and synchronize every single task on the app so I can basically leave the house without taking the journal with me, which is the biggest friction point when it comes to just journaling in general. Also, sometimes when I'm outside, I will need to write down appointments or set up reminders, and I usually do that through the Todoist widget. Speaking of which, I place my widget on my phone's homepage. That way I am sure I'll be haunted by the tasks every time I unlock it. It's a good way to keep off TikTok, that's for sure. At the end of the day, once I'm in, I will write some more in my journal, and I will also sync everything from my Todoist app that I've done outside and put it onto paper. I think this mechanical way of syncing tasks is a great way to reinforce them into your memory so that you're less likely to forget about them. Now, as a final note, and no, I'm not being sponsored, obviously, I don't have any subscribers for it. Todoist has one of the best newsletters that I've ever used on any productivity app ever. And they're not many. I think I get one a month, sometimes, maybe, but they're always worth a read. And the best part of this is that their emails feel very humane, and also it's a real person that's working on the app, sharing their personal development or issues, anything related to productivity that they have, they will share it with us. And that humane aspect just makes it a little bit more approachable and more likable. Also, check this out. I'm a Todoist Grandmaster, which I think puts me at the top 0.1% of users. I'm not flexing, I've just been using the app for a long time, and I thought it was pretty cool, okay? So, anyways, I'm really glad that the app is still free, and I hope it stays that way forever, or hopefully a longer time, because it's my favorite, and I don't think I can live without it. So that's about it. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and joining me in the comments down below. I've been Arkan, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.